Yo, what is going on, people, and welcome back to another video on the channel. In this video, this is going to be the third and final part of us building the reusable website landing page template. And in this video, we're going to be continuing on with the contact us form right there, and then we're also going to build the footer right there, and then we're going to make a fully functional and fully responsive navbar here at the top as well to help you navigate within your application. And we're going to start by creating the contact us form. So basically we want to make a contact form component for us. .js, create some boilerplate as well right there. And then what we want to do is we're going to want to define this inside a container. And for the container, we're going to define some styles again, of course. And this time, as we want them to be on a column, we're going to set a display to flex direction to be column, like that. Then we also want to align our items to the center. And then also justify the content to center. Let's also set a mean height for this to make things a little bit more clear. To appear to the user. So that's going to be a 100% of the viewport height, and right there. Then we're just going to hit save, and then what we're going to do, we're of course going to define a typography to set the title typography. We're going to want to say contact us right there. We want to set the same styles as before with those texts. So basically you guys can just navigate here, for example, our products section, and just copy that. Go here, paste that there, hit save, and then that's all good. And after that, we also have to import it into our application like this, and then hit save, and there we go. We have it right there. And now, next up, actually, I'm just going to define a box, and within this box, we're going to do the form itself. So basically, we want to set a component to be form. We just want to define some styles to this as well. And for this, we're going to also define that the display is going to be flex. The flex direction, of course, going to be column. We want to set some margin top as well. Margin top, like this. And that's going to be 2rem. Let's hit save right there. Then I also want to set the max width to be 30rem. No more, no less. And then inside this box, we want to define the text fields that the user can input their text on. And that's going to be built with a text field component that is built into Material UI. And take note that this is actually a self-closing tag. And right here, we're just going to say label. It's going to be name. Then let's also set that the name is going to be name. We don't need that right there. Then I'm going to set it to be full width. I wanted that to be required. Also some styling to this. Let's set margin bottom to be 1rem. And there we have it right there. But now you guys can see, because we have this dark background, it's not really visible at all right there. So we basically want that to be white. And how can we set that to be white? Let's say that the input props, and then right here inside we're going to set that the style is going to be color white, And then I also want to input label props. Define it in the same way. So set that the style is going to be color, and it's going to be white. Like that. So basically, now we have a much more clear form right there. And now we can continue with our application. So basically, we just want more of these forms. So we can just copy this one, make another one below it. Maybe call this or call this something like email. Also set the name to be email, and then here I'll also just change that one to be name, like that. Boom, there we go. And then we also want a form that the user, again, just input some text on, maybe send us a message or something. Then we can just define another text field right here. Let's say that's write a message, dot, dot, dot. Say the name is going to be this time message. And then what we also want to do is that we want to define rows, set it maybe to like 4. And after those rows, we also want to say multi-line. So now you guys can see that we have these forms right there. And if I zoom a little bit, and as you guys can see, these are quite small right now. And how we can make those a bit bigger, let's just go here and set that the width is gonna be 100%. Like that. Boom. Now those are a bit larger. Now I'm just gonna show you guys that if we set here, maybe like border, 1 pixel, solid white, this is what our form currently looks like. But I just think it's cleaner this way. And now, last but not least, we also want a button right here at the bottom. So let's just say that button is going to be type. No, it's going to be a text. What it's going to say is maybe like submit. And then let's define some styles. Some styles are going to be background color. It's going to be blue. The color is going to be white. Then we also want to set some margin top. It's going to be 1 rem. Let's see what that looks like right now. Boom, there we go. Now we also want to, so now we basically want to just make the hover effect the same that's earlier. So basically we can just go here, find our button. Let's copy and paste those lines from there. And just add those right there. Oops, there's margin top as a double. We don't need that. And now when we hit save and go on top of this, it looks so much better. And so basically right here, the user can write, you can say my name, my email, my message, something like this. And then just user can also submit the form. Next, we want to move on to the footer component. So basically, we're just gonna do the same as always. Just define our footer.js, create the boilerplate with RAFCE, and then with the footer, HTML actually has something called footer, which we can use, and then inside the footer we can define a box with all the contents. And basically, for this box, we want to set some styles. Let's say text align. We want that to be center. We also want the padding to be maybe like 1 rem. We also want to set the line height a bit higher, 3 rem. Background color, we want to set that to a darker color. And then before we move on any further, let's save that and import our footer right here at our app.js file. Hit save on that, and we can see that we have a little footer right there without any contents yet, but let's add those next. And next we want to set some typography. If we inspect that, what are we going for right here? We want to say like your company, your rights reserved, what it's powered by, then some links right here. So basically, the first typography is of course going to be that my company. Hit save on that. We do want to define some styles for this, which is basically going to be a font weight. We want that to be bold. And of course the font size. We also want that to be a little bit higher, maybe like 1.5 rem. There we go. Looks a bit better. And next, define the next line. We want typography. And then how can we set the copyright and name reserved is basically with this line of code right here. So this defines the copyright sign. This defines the year and etc. Let's hit save on that. Looks great. And then below that, we also want to set a typography with text of our street. Just put an example street right there. And then our typography of a phone number. Let's just say something like +1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, like this. Something simple. Let's split that up also a little bit to make it appear a bit cleaner, like that. And then below that, we also want our email. So that's going to be something like info.example.com. And then last but not least, we want the icons of our social media to be shown here as well. So we want to define a box for those, and then inside this box, we actually want to define one style for this box as well, which is going to be a margin top. So to set a little bit of distance to the text, and then inside this box, we want to define a Instagram icon. We actually want to import those. I'm just gonna import all those icons right here. And then for the Instagram icon, it's also gonna be a self-closing tag. And now we run into this error. You might run into this error as well. How can we resolve this error is by installing this Material UI icons material. So basically, navigate to your other terminal. Within this terminal, let's navigate to our landing page, like that. Wanna run npm install, and then Material UI icons material. And boom, you might have to restart your React application because we're downloading these dependencies to our project, and it might not work straight from out of the box. So just restart your React app and it'll work. And then for these icons, we of course want to set some styles. So we want to set a SX. And inside here, we basically want to set some sort of transition. So when we hover on that, it's going to look a bit more clean. And then at hover effect, like this. And then the color, what we're going to use, it's going to be RGB. And the color we're going to use, we want to set that also to be blue. It's quite blue, but now when we hover on that, it looks much cleaner. And on top of this, we actually also want to wrap this around an A tag. So basically, we want this to be a link into our Instagram or whatever. So we can just say href. I'm just going to say something like Instagram.com. I'm also going to set the target to be blank. And then rel is going to be no opener, no refer. And hit save on that. There we go. Now we have the icon. And then basically we just want to copy and paste our other social media accounts right here. And right here at the top, I already imported Facebook icon and LinkedIn icon. So basically, let's just change these to be Facebook icon. And it should, of course, take you to like facebook.com. And then here, LinkedIn icon. And it should take you to linkedin.com. Hit save on that, and boom, there we go. And now we can see that these are quite close to each other, and also the color is now this a bit purple because I've clicked it. So we basically want to set the color again right here to be white. So if we change that and hit save, you guys can see it transitions to a white color. And let's just do that to these two other icons as well and hit save. Boom, looks much more cleaner. And then also what I want to do for each of these icons, I'm going to set some margin to the right side. So it's going to take a little bit of distance to each other. Let's just set that to every single one of them. And boom, there we go. Looks great. And then we have one more thing. We can set this powered by your company. So basically, that's of course going to be just a typography, which says powered by your company. This, hit save on that, and boom, it's right there. And now we can also set some styling to that. Font style, it should be italic. There we go, looks a bit cleaner. And now we're of course ready with our footer as well. And now for our last task, we're actually going to create the nav bar. And for the navbar, let's actually now create a completely new folder within our components. And let's call this a navbar. And inside this navbar component, we want to add a new file, which is of course going to be navbar.js component, create the boilerplate, hit save on that. And then what we also want to do is create navbar.css just to make sure you guys understand CSS as well. And then inside navbar.css file, you can just copy and paste this one. So basically we want to display them in a flex. And then we also want to hide those buttons that we're going to see in just a moment if the screen size is under 420 pixels. And hit save on that. Now we also just want to navigate into our application, and then right here at the top we want to say navbar, and that's of course going to be also a self-closing tag right there. Hit save on that, and then we can see that we have the navbar right there. Now let's actually start creating the navbar. And for this navbar, we're actually going to use a little bit of JavaScript as well. And this navbar, we actually want to wrap it around a theme provider, just as we did earlier. And we also want to create the theme. On top of that, you guys can just copy and paste this one. So basically, we're going to use a dark mode for this. And then we also want to import the create theme right here. And then we also want to set the theme to our theme provider to be the theme that we just defined. Hit save on that. Oh, and this error, I just noticed that we have, these are importing from the wrong address. So we actually want to import these from material UI, material. Hit save on that. Boom, looks much better. Not getting an error anymore. And then for our navbar, we actually want to define this as a app bar from material UI material. Like this. We also want the position of it to be fixed, so it stays right there all the time. Inside the navbar, we're going to create a toolbar. And inside this toolbar, we're going to set the icon buttons. So basically an icon button, and we're going to set the color to inherit. And this icon button is actually going to be a menu icon. It's not importing it automatically. So basically, we can import menu icon, menu as, menu icon, and this is going to be from material UI, icons, material. And then menu icon, it's going to be right there, and that's self-closing as well. There we go. This took a minute to load, but there we have it. And now we have the menu icon right there as well. And now we can actually start defining the nav buttons. So right beside this, we're actually going to use a div right here with a class name of nav buttons. And this is because we just defined here in our navbar.js the nav buttons class. And inside here, we want to define styled buttons. So above our navbar, let's create a new styled button like this. And we can just say that it's a styled. Make sure you import it from the same material UI / material. And then right here, we just want to say that it's a button. Let's also put those onto a new line so you guys can see it a bit better. And then right here, what we want to do is just define the styles. And I actually have some predefined styles for these. For the style button, I'm just gonna copy and paste them right there. So basically, we're gonna just set the margin left, some padding, border radius, color, and also a transition. So basically quite a lot of the same things that we have done earlier as well. Let's hit save on that. And then we want to start using them. So here we can just say that we want to use the style button. We want to say that it's going to say maybe like home. Hit save on that. And boom, there it is. And let's just define a few more of these. So let's just say the style button, and it's going to be our value proposition, and then maybe for the contact form as well. So style button and contact. Hit save on that. Boom, there we have them. And now we actually want to make the functionality for this to actually open the sidebar. Because as you guys can see, here in the finished version, you can just click on that and it opens this up. Right here on our side, it doesn't yet do that. So for that, we're actually going to use some JavaScript. So we're going to define a state. So we can just say that our is drawer open, and then also set is drawer open, and that's going to be a use state. Make sure to import that in from React, and it's actually going to be set to a false by default. Then we also want to write a function that's going to be a toggle drawer function right there. And now we just want to set drawer is open to whatever is not. So basically the opposite of what it is currently. And then below the app bar, we want to define the drawer. That's going to be coming from new material. And then we want to set the anchor. It's going to be on the left side of the screen. And then open. We're going to set is drawer open, and on close is going to be toggle drawer function. Hit save on that. It still doesn't work because we haven't defined anything inside of it. So basically we're just going to define a list, and inside this list we want to set a bunch of list item buttons, and these are going to be list item texts. List item text right there, and that's actually a self-closing tag. And then we can set the primary to be home, which is basically the text that we wanted to say. And then we can just copy and paste all those three that we have. So this is basically going to be our value proposition. And then this is going to be our contact. And now you guys can see that everything works perfectly, except that this ain't opening still. And the problem is that here in our menu icon button, we still have to define a on-click function, which basically means that it's going to toggle the drawer. Hit save on that. And now if we press it, you guys can see that it's right there. And we can also check that, let's say, on a phone device. Now we can see that it's actually not resizing. And I just remembered that one thing that I forgot is to import our navbar.css file right there. Hit save on that, and boom, we can see that it disappears right there. And now if the screen size is too small, it hides the buttons. So that's our desired functionality. Now we also want, last but not least, we want a functionality that when I press like the home button or the value proposition button or contact button, it navigates to that place on the page, right? What happens right here. And to do that is we're just going to use some JavaScript to do that as well. We're going to write a function that is going to be a scroll. We're going to call it a scroll to section. And it's going to take inside a section ID as a parameter. And then we can, we want to find that the section that we're looking for, we want to find it from the document. So basically document dot get element by ID, and then pass in the section ID, and then if section. So basically if it's not undefined, we want to set that section dot scroll into view, and then we also want to set the behavior to be smooth. So that enables smooth scrolling. And now we still have to define these IDs for the home, our value proposition, and our contact forms. And basically we can do this by navigating into our header, which is basically our home. And then we can just say that the ID is gonna be home. Hit save on that. Do the same for a contact form. So basically, right here we can just say that the ID is going to be contact. And then for our value proposition, we can just go ahead and say that the ID of this is going to be value proposition, like that. Hit save on that. Now we can navigate to our navbar, and now we still have to use it for all these buttons and all of these buttons as well. And we can do that by defining a onClick function, which basically sets our scroll to section, and this is going to be our home. And then basically we can just do some copy pasting right here, and then we just want to change this so that this is our value proposition, and then this is going to be our contact. Hit save on that. Hit save on that. And now we can use this to navigate within our application. Looks awesome. There's only one more thing to do, and we also want to navigate using these buttons as well. And that can be done, of course, by implying these onClick functions into these list item buttons. So that's going to be for home. Then we want to set it to value proposition, and then last but not least, we also want to set it to our contact, like that. Hit save on that. Now we can make still sure that this works, and now we can use this to navigate within all of our application. And that's pretty much it for you guys. So you have just made yourself a fully functional, fully responsive, a reusable website template that you can use for any of your projects. You can use this even if you're launching your own company, making your own company portfolio page or anything like that. Just add your own pictures, your own texts, and be creative with it. I hope you guys learned something, and be sure to hit that like button. And of course, if you want to see some more content like this, please consider subscribing. And if there's anything more content that you guys want to see that has something to do with web development, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll do my absolute everything to fulfill those wishes from you guys. Thank you so much, and take care.